That's what I didn't do, Josh. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Hambelton Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale. I'm the general manager, and Josh Profit, our service director. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Had a great night last night out of Kansas International Dragway.
Man, did we? That was a lot of fun.
It was. Had a lot of fun out there with those guys. We'll get to talking about that here in a minute. We've got day 2 coming up at Kansas International Dragway. So let's first off, this is a call-in show, 316-462-3673. Hey, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything you don't understand, anything in the automobile world, anything about MH Ward Racing, or you want to talk about what went on at Kansas International Dragway last night, love to take your calls and give you a great price package valued at over $130 for each and every caller. And as always, Josh, what's in that package?
So we're going to send it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on your vehicle, making sure that it's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also receive $10 to Mel's Diner so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the big corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer for you. And then BG products package, which is going to consist of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then a can of CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, 316-462-3673. Hey, anything at all. Let's talk about it. Let's get the phones ringing and get you that great price package. So anyway, Josh, we had a beat the heat situation out at the Kansas International Dragway. And
kind of was a beat the heat situation.
But let's kind of get into that a little bit. Yeah. Basically, Nick Roberts, who kind of heads up our drag side of Hoosier, was in Denver at a national event and saw a deal where the police department were racing the police.
Mm-hmm.
And thought it was a cool event. And so he brought the idea back to us here at Hambelton Ford. And of course, all of us said, let's go. Let's jump on this. Let's make it happen. And we went to our connections that we have at Wichita PD. And it took a little bit to get through and get everybody to get it approved and get the I's dotted, T's crossed, and everybody sign off on it. But we had about 5 days to put the program together. We called some other local departments
yep.
to try to get them in. Just didn't have enough time. But we went out to Kansas International Dragway. The Wichita Police Department brought out some great cars. They also brought out a 60, I think it was 63, wasn't it?
I thought it was, yeah.
Old police car they'd gotten out of Florida. So we had a few drag races going up and down the drag strip with the police, and we had people register up and everything else too. Of course, Lisa was out there giving away prizes and everything else too. It was really fun to see that. T-shirts are going everywhere. We had the support the blue and
back the blue.
Back
and
the blue.
We had some shirt. I think on the front it said, "Sorry, officer, my car is faster than yours," or something like that. I think. And then on the back of it, it said, "Beat the heat."
And you need to apologize. It took a long time to get the crowd in because we were coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
And the line was crazy getting in there last night. So apologize for that delay getting in there. But the police were there on tap. We had our first race with Paul Cruz, and what was the first car? Oh, that
Hellcat. So the very first one was maybe a little unfair advantage from that side. Had a Hellcat versus I was trying to remember what the officer drove.
The very first time he drove the EcoBoost.
Was
Explorer.
It? Yeah. Okay. And it didn't fare too well, but it was very exciting. The crowd was
they loved it and everything else too.
It was we drew that and got it all staged and lined up, and I was still back handing out registrations or getting people registered, and just the flood of people when they found out that was going on that ran over to the stands just to see it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. So ended up having three races, and the very last one got real close.
The last two really were the second one was a 350Z. I think, and it was a manual. And honestly, going up to it, and I asked that kid, he said never had it down a drag strip before, and that was his first time, and stuff like that. He did very well. It was a manual transmission as well in that thing, and so I think the officer got him out of the gate, but then that 350Z caught him at the end. So
then he took the 63 down the strip. We were first going to send him by himself, but then there was a guy behind him in a line in a 68 Chevelle, and all hopped up and everything, and he was waiting in line there, and I went over and opened his door, and I said, get in the other lane, race the cop. He said, race the cops? hell yes. He jumped on it. Of course, that wasn't even close at all from that part. But it was just a good time out there supporting the Blue and Wichita PD and all the things we gave away and stuff like that, and prizes and all the people we met and everything else too. Good to give back to the community. It was a great community support.
I heard definitely a lot of support for those guys for sure.
And for those of you who know where Kansas International Dragway is at, I heard that they had police at 96 Highway because the traffic backed up that far. So very cool, very good to see everybody supporting that and everything else too. From that standpoint, so it's just a good time out there at Kansas International Dragway. So,
we're definitely going to get a hold of that and do it again and make it bigger and better. Yeah. If we would have had even just another week, I think the attendance that we would have got from the law
other
enforcement, other departments and stuff like that would have been so much better for sure. But it definitely a great event for those guys, and to be able to show support like that is awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, John, Craig Spielman's got a question here. What does the steering wheel push buttons cost on a 2011 F-150? Do you think it's maybe my problem for why my Bluetooth doesn't respond a couple of times and are still doing the sticker thing for the exhaust thing? And are you all the sticker thing on the exhaust thing? So a couple things to talk about there too. So sounds like he's having a little Bluetooth issue on his 11 F-150. Not sure the buttons is the right answer. Is it, Josh?
Yeah, so it could be the buttons on there. What we see more often than not, and the way those to understand that, really got to understand how that works. So basically, all those buttons on the steering wheel is there's different resistors in those buttons, and then say there's just a few paths of wire that go down through the steering column, and they go through what is called a clock spring or a coil spring. And a lot of times what we see is when the steering wheel buttons are acting up or not working like they should, yes, it can be the buttons on the steering column, but more often than not, it's the clock spring, or where those wires go through the steering column. And that clock spring allows you to basically turn the wheel left or right, and those wires still are able to make contact through that. And so could be one or the other from that side, or it could just be something completely different from there. So the best thing to do there would, be able to get that in and take a look at it and see exactly what's going on with it. And then as far as on the converter etching, that is something that we are still doing.
Let's back up and talk about that a little bit. Yeah, that was last Saturday.
Yeah, that was last Saturday. Had a great event there to be able to do that. Again, teamed up with the task force from the Wichita Police Department on getting converters etched in. And basically what that is we're come in and we put a sticker on the converter. It's a perforated sticker that puts a unique serial number basically on your converter, and then there's an etching fluid that goes over the top of that. And then you go to this company's web page and you register that unique number to your VIN and your information, name, phone number, address, all that stuff, that later on they would be able to track it back to where it came from. It was a great event. We had we did quite a few of them, and it was a very, very good success as well. And anything, and do I think that it's going to fix the situation? No. But is it going to slow it down? Or at some point, is somebody going to get caught with one of those that they're able to track it down and be able to make an arrest or aid in the help of getting this stopped? Yeah, definitely I do. And
it's the first step of about 10 steps we really need to do.
Very, very much so. And so it's not a cure-all, but it's certainly a step in the right direction for sure.
And then Craig's wanting to know, is it still free or is it cost now? Kind of where we at with that, Josh? We ended up with 200 kits, correct?
Yeah, ended up with 200 kits. I do have a few kits left that the task force, or I guess it was the Wichita Dealer Association and the Wichita Police Department went together and got. And what I've told all the advisors is, as long as I have those kits that have been paid for, there's not going to be any charge for the service. But we are starting to get
kind of low
on those.
So do you have an idea what it's going to cost after those are gone? I think you've ordered some other kits too, right?
So it's going to be about $35, I believe, for the kit once these are gone. So
okay. So if you need to get your converter still etched up or whatever, and Jack Mills says he come and got his done.
Yeah.
So good morning, Jack. Morning, Delbert. I got a few people saying good morning to you. I missed up on some of the comments. Jeffrey Coates, good morning. So got everybody taken care of. Delbert Art, good morning, buddy. Anyway, so yeah, that was another great event last Saturday that, like you said, Josh, this is not going to fix this catalytic converter problem, but I think it's going to, the first step in the right direction of trying to slow it down. But I'm telling you who I'm more angry with than anything is I'm more angry with these salvage yards or the people that are paying these guys that know they're stolen and paying them the money to get these precious metals that are inside these catalytic converters and stuff too. Don't get me wrong, the guys cutting them off need to be in jail too, but the guys that are paying these guys for those need to go to jail too.
Well, and you hear some of the stories where people are taking literally truckloads of these things in, and I mean, I would think that it's got to raise some questions.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
There's if I don't know, if something, I've always been kind of the opinion that if something smells fishy and looks fishy and
it stinks,
it's fishy, and you need to be asking questions and not just go on. So have your spidey senses up, I guess.
Yeah, something like that, right?
From that side of it. So
yeah, I agree. So anyway, great event last Saturday, great event last night. Day 2 going on at Kansas International Dragway. Nick Roberts that runs our Hoosier side is out there. It's his event for Devil's Glue. So if you need some more fun tonight, I would get in line a little earlier tonight. I don't know how the crowd's going to be tonight and everything else too, but a great crowd last night. Can't thank the Wichita PD, Paul Cruz and all his gang that helped us get that put together and everything else too. Had a great time with those guys last night. And I think we built some great awareness and some great community involvement in putting everybody together from that standpoint too.
Yeah, they were, we had a booth set up, and then the Wichita Police Department was just kind of right behind us. And I mean, there was people coming and going out of our booth and getting registered and stuff like that. But I know they were just as busy, and the guys were, flocking around the cop cars and looking those things over and checking out the lights and all of that stuff as well. And so, I think it just went very well for them for sure.
It did. So anyway, let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673. Hey, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be, we're here to answer your questions, give away the great prize package. So let's get them ringing. And hit the wrong button there. Get that number back up on the screen for everybody. We get things going across here too. So Jeffrey Coates, that I agree with you, Jeff. It's the scrap yards that are driving us crazy that should be outlawed too. I'm with you on that 100%. And that's what he says. Scrap yards should be outlawed. I agree. The ones that need to be outlawed are the ones that are actually paying that money and know, like you said, Josh.
Yeah,
they know.
There's certainly a lot of reputable places out there for sure, and I do believe there is a need for that recycling to happen or to occur, just like salvage yards. Salvage yards. There's a lot of a good reputable salvage yards out there as well, and so it's just kind of like in our industry is that you get the 5% that gives the industry a black eye over the whole 95% of the industry. And it's tough when you're out here and you're really trying to do the right thing. And you have people that are on edge or automatically defensive just because of a story. I think I sent you a video or a story earlier in the week of somebody purchasing a car at a independent automotive sales facility or whatever, and it just didn't go right for them, from that side, and it hurts when again you're out here and you're trying to do the right thing, and you have stories like that.
It's always that 5% that kills us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure. Anyway, 316-462-3673. Hey, let's get the phones ringing and dial that number up. Come right to the front desk. The girls will get your number. Tell them you're calling in for the radio show and patch us through, and we'll get you this great prize package valued over $130. And looks like we got a caller coming in here shortly. So Josh, you're getting that queued up. We need to, as we get coming back here after this call, we need to talk about what you and I and Lisa and Shannon did.
Yeah.
This week we went to Dallas. We went down to Ford, had some great meetings down there. We want to talk about everything we saw there, what we did, and everything else too, from that standpoint, to kind of give everybody an update on different things and stuff too that Ford was updating us too. So let's get this caller through here real quick, and then we'll talk about what we did down in Dallas for a couple days and learn a lot of good stuff from Ford and saw a lot of the new stuff that's coming and everything else too. We'd love to talk about all that here shortly. So are we ready, Josh?
Yeah, we're ready. We're getting in patch.
Oh, he's not in yet. I thought maybe in already too.
Not quite in yet.
So. Not quite there yet. So 316-462-3673. First caller's coming in the phone here, and love to get your calls too. So 316-462-3673.
Delbert, good morning. You're live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Good morning, Josh and Phil. How are we this morning?
Doing great. Doing great. How about yourself?
Sorry for the scratchy voice. Got a little bit of a cold going on down here in Oklahoma City. Hey, I have some questions about this etching on the catalytic converters. I think it's a great thing you're doing. How can we get that to be passed around like the different departments, like, for example, Oklahoma City? Is that something we can get with them and maybe get them to do down here at the Ford dealers and all that down here?
Well, I hope so. It's Josh. Josh knows how to get some of the kits. Like I said, what really happened there is the the Wichita Auto Dealers has an association. We meet once a month, and we were all getting together to try to figure out how we could stop this or slow this catalytic converter thing down because they're hitting our lots crazy. So we went to the Wichita Police Department. We met with them, and they actually developed a whole task force just for these catalytic converters in stolen cars. And so they assigned a few officers to that. So we've had several meetings about that. So then we agreed as an association that we spent $10,000. So that got us a bunch of kits. Then we had different locations throughout the city that actually went in and did that. So we did that last Saturday. So we got to, I guess what we can do, Delbert, is get the numbers and stuff that you can contact, that Ford dealer can contact or whatever. Or I guess we could hold a kit for Delbert when he comes back up here next time. We can just do it for you too.
Look at doing that, or send one down there.
I don't know if the Fusions have that big of a deal, but I know the higher vehicles, like my daughter's got the Ranger, and she had to move her car one day from where she worked to another lot because they started getting into those vehicles in a business. So I don't know how big of a deal it is down here as far as at the dealerships, but with the lack of vehicles right now, it's probably not a huge ordeal. But,
yeah. And so
I think in the future, we're going to, like you said, you got to get your spidey senses on here. You got to say, hey, there's something fishy going on. Why are we buying all these converters? That's the biggest problem I see.
Oh, I'm with you.
If they quit buying the converters, then there's not going to be as big of an issue. There's nobody going to be buying them. Nobody going to be able to sell them to somebody that's going to buy them. So, and they're paying outrageous prices for these things too. So that doesn't help.
That's the thing we're also trying to do is find out where they are going, because there's a lot of people don't know where they're going. So we looked at putting some GPS devices on a few converters to try to track them. But the problem is how hot those converters get. There's not many GPS devices can withstand that heat to stay on them or whatever. So that's why these numbers have been etching these numbers in them now is trying to do something a little bit. At least we can kind of see it. But see, right now, if the officer pulls somebody over and they've got converters in their trucks, they can't do nothing to them. There's no laws, no nothing. All the guy's got to say is that it's mine or whatever. Well, now that we've got these numbers on a few of them, if we pull them over and they've got the numbers on it, we can track it. We can see who they belong to. And at least now that we can bust somebody. But the cops' hands have been tied here so hard too, is they've got to catch the people in the act doing it. Even if they've got them in their possession, there's still nothing they can do. So it was good to talk to those police officers last Saturday to see their frustration. They want to catch them too, but there's just not many laws out there. It's just like stealing a car. There's hardly any penalty for stealing a car today. And that's what we're also trying to change.
A car is a pretty expensive piece of equipment.
From the guy that's made reports before about stolen vehicles is that a lot of times it's literally you call in, give them the information, and that's the extent of it. There's nobody gets dispatched out. Nobody looks at really what's going on, and they just put it on a hot list and put it out over the system, and eventually it shows back up and they call you and let you know and all that stuff. But it's definitely seems like it's been diluted. But also from the police side of it, I mean, I understand why they're way overworked and don't have enough staff to get everything accomplished that they need to, and so they definitely have to prioritize what it is they're doing, and I get it, understand it from that side of things for sure. So Delbert, that website, I was going to give that to you if you wanted to hop on there and kind of see how that works for this converter etching. It's www.isrcodecheck.com.
Hold on, let me do that. I was driving, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
I wonder how I can get that up on the screen, Josh.
I pulled over.
I don't know if you could just put it in
I pulled over
right down there.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, because I don't know if they have anything like that down here where they get together with the Auto Dealers Association or anything like that. So I'm going to see if I can find out about that and maybe pass that information along, see if that's something that they're willing to like I said, it did cost you guys 10 grand to get started on this, get some of those kits going. So I think it's worth the money to spend right now to try to get something done about it. If I had it, I'd put it up. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't had any catalytic converters stolen, but doesn't mean it won't happen to me or somebody else. We all know. So, and I think that they're going to the dealership because they got just a whole line of cars right there. And, you know, you guys can't be there 24/7, and, you know, your cameras can only catch so much, and they can't do facial recognition as well with some of the camera systems out there yet. I just got a new camera for my car to help protect me doing Uber and stuff. So,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, shouldn't plug those things. But anyway,
Yeah. Well,
scratch that last statement. But anyway,
anyway, we put it up on the screen now, the isrcodecheck.com. If you want to go check that out, you can see how that's working and stuff too. That's up on the screen now too, so you can see that in that sort of thing too. But yeah,
I'll send Josh an email and we'll see if he can give me some more information on where you guys are going and all that. And I know, Josh, you got my email. You can just send it to me if you'd like. That way it'd be a little easier, but I'll send you one to remind you on this afternoon.
Can do.
Okay?
Yep. Sounds good.
Guys, thank you for what you're doing to try and help alleviate some of this issue we have here in the cities. If we can get that nationwide, that'd even be better.
I'm with you there too,
That's what I'm thinking. Trying to go bigger with it.
Yep.
So if there's anything I can do down here to help, I'm going to try. I'll get with our locals here and see what I can find out.
Sounds good, buddy. Thanks for the call.
All right, you guys have a great day.
You too, Delbert. Thanks, buddy. All right, that IRS code check's up on the screen if you want to check that out too. If you want to call our service department and set an appointment up to get your converter etched, got a few of those left from that part too. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Hey, let's jump on the phones, get them ringing. We'll answer your questions and stuff too. And I got the wrong deal there, didn't I? About this one. There we go. How about that one, Josh? That one worked.
That'll work better.
A little better than around the track. Okay, so anyway, earlier this week, Josh and I and Lisa and Shannon, our general sales manager, went to Dallas for a Ford meeting, and we got to drive the new Maverick. And I'm telling you, people, for a compact truck, I'm blown away. I never thought I would be that excited about a product or anything else like that, especially a small little pickup like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, that thing is it's not on a frame chassis. It's on a
unibody.
So
Yep.
the room inside the cab is bigger than a Ranger. And I wouldn't believe it, but you, Lisa, and Shannon, all three sat in that back seat with plenty of room as I drove around with Jerry Nadeau. For those who don't know, Jerry Nadeau used to be he's quite the character, but we had a good time with Jerry. Jerry used to be in the NASCAR and driving, and he was in a real seriously bad wreck in Richmond.
Yeah.
He was in a coma for 30 days, so he had to hang up the racing hat and went into working for different manufacturers and doing these different drive tests and everything else too. But he's quite the character stuff too. Had a good time with Jerry, but the other thing is the Maverick. It's just a cool little truck. Can't wait to get them. We've got about 5 of them already being built into about the end of September. So we start seeing the Maverick somewhere around the middle of October is what I'm going to guess.
And I would assume when they come out with that we're going to be released so many courtesy versions of that as well. Kind of like what they did everything else, really just going to go straight into sales.
Straight into sales. No,
very good.
Yeah, straight in and everything else too. And that part. So
yeah, what I was, the size of it, for me to sit in the back of a
as tall as you are,
as tall as I am and stuff, it was very comfortable, blown away, like what you said, with I would even call it maybe almost a subcompact truck. I mean, it's smaller than the Ranger overall. The turning radius on it was extremely good, but then also just how quiet it was. I mean, the manufacturers have really got these things down as far as the fit and finish and how quiet they are. And the other thing was it's got a 2-liter in it, but the power that it had, or 2-liter was one of the options, but the
2-liter and then a hybrid. Yeah.
The power that 2-liter had was just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, all 5 of us are in that vehicle. You know, Jerry said, hit it. And I did. I mean, it squealed the tires. So that was very cool, but I can't wait to get them. I can't wait to have them here in the showroom for you. We've got a lot of sold orders already in the system from that standpoint. So can't wait to see that too. Hey, good morning, Jay. Yes, Delbert, forgot to say like and share and subscribe on YouTube for us. We'd love to make that happen. So from that part. So anyway, so then we They talked a lot about electric cars.
Yeah.
And, by 2025, 50% of what Ford's going to be selling is going to be electric. And a lot of you naysayers are out there and everything else too. But it is what it is. Much as I don't really know that I like it yet, I'm going to accept it. I'm going to go on. I'm going to have to, but I'm going to tell you, we got to see the Lightning truck, fully electric truck, 540 horsepower and 770 foot-pounds of torque. And what you got to remember that torque is there.
Torque instantly. Is on. Yeah,
instantly on. But when you look at that truck and there's no motor, now they got what they call the frunk.
Yeah,
front trunk, and that thing can power your house. What they say for 3 days?
Yeah, 3 days, and it was like 9,000 kVW from that side, and so I mean it would be enough to run everything you needed, essentially for sure from that side of it. But to be able to do that is phenomenal.
Yeah,
for sure.
We should start seeing the Lightning truck somewhere around late spring is what we're being told. So that's kind of cooler too. Then we're going to fully 100% electric transit for all your commercial guys and everything else out there too. And think about the size of a battery they can put underneath the bottom of that transit. So that's going to be another huge one too coming. Then the third one is going to be a fully 100% electric Explorer. And they didn't physically show us the car, but they had a good video of the car. And I'm telling you, it looks very cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see those cars. We're going to see those in 2023. So just a little bit away from that standpoint too. So anyway, then the one that really blew me away is they showed us the new Raptor, which we're going to have some Raptors here finally coming around the corner here too. The Bronco Raptor. They showed us that. So it's exciting to see that also. And then of course the Super Duties we should start seeing any day now with the upgraded interior and stuff on those with the big screens and everything else too, like the F-150. So
yeah, we got to see one of those, got to get in that for sure. That Super Duty is just a beast. The torque and horsepower that it has in that thing, just straight off the assembly line. You always think, man, I don't know how they could make it much better, and then they do, and then they put more torque and horsepower. But what I will tell you on those Super Duties is that what always blows me away with them is when you drive one and then hook it to a trailer, or you've been driving it with a trailer and then you unhook it, and the truck just seems to act the same, whether there's a 10,000 pound trailer behind it or it's just the truck. I mean, they just pull, they just go.
Yeah.
From that side of it.
Yeah. Anyway, James Furman's got a little question here. Let's get going on that here real fast. So I have a bit of an issue on the Volvo. A couple weeks ago on the way out to Wheatland, Missouri, my car developed a miss. It wouldn't go over 2,000 RPMs. If I'm in the city, I don't have any issues. Just when I get on the highway, when I have to accelerate past 60 to 65. So I don't know, Mr. Furman. Looks like we need to get in and take a look at it, but it sounds to me like we're running out of fuel pressure to get that fast. But
or if we got a coil or something that's dropping out, maybe under higher engine loads.
I'd say, yeah, develop a miss. What I didn't keep going back through that again. I just keep going back to in city, it's okay, but on a highway, James, I wonder if you've got a check engine light on or anything else from that part. And then I guess the other thing is the miss gone in the in-town highway versus a highway driving? Is the misfire there all the time? So if you want to call in, James, or if you want to
then the other
type some more things there too.
Yeah, the other things I would wonder there is maybe if there wasn't something going on with the converter lockup and he was maybe mistaking it for a miss from that side of it. So
could be.
So
James, you want to call in? We can talk to you some more, get some more diagnostic questions answered up and figure out what we got going on there too. Or if you just want to type some more in here too, we can take that question too. So anyway, back to Dallas. We're down there. We got the Maverick.
Yep.
We've seen the Bronco Raptor now, which, we're still waiting on those Raptors. And it is what's going on with the Bronco right now is those dang roofs. They've switched to manufacturers on the roofs. Ford doesn't want to ship these Broncos because they don't want any bad press out there on the roofs. Well, it's too late. It's out there. Let's ship these trucks.
Yeah.
From that part. I need to go see where our first courtesy.
I was going to say we ought to be getting really close on that right after the discussion that they had down there.
Yeah. So I need to go check on our first one to see where it's at. Last I knew it was setting in Kansas City, and I don't know if that's where it's setting or where it's really not there. We have a tool called vehicle visibility to kind of show us where the cars are at in process of shipping and all that kind of thing. And right now it's so out of sorts because of all this chip shortage and everything else too, which just bringing up another thing. Let's throw a question up. We'll give this
yeah.
here's a trivia question for you. If you can answer this question or get close enough to it, we'll give you the price package. So all you out there as listeners, it blew me away. So I'm telling you it's a big number. But how many chips do you think are in an F-150? And I'm going to tell you it's more than 200. Okay.
Well, okay. How about compared to an iPhone?
Okay, let's do that. An iPhone has 12.
Yeah.
12 chips in it. And so now I'm going to tell you an F-150. So the first one, it can either call in or put it up on the screen. And how many chips are in an F-150? You get a price package because it blew me away. So now, anyway, so we got on the chip thing. We got that going. So anyway, a lot of new products coming. A lot of exciting stuff coming with these electric cars. Mr. Troy Furman says 500. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. Furman, keep going. Keep going. So Dan Wicks, I'm going to have to give it to Dan Wicks. Dan nailed it, 1,700. The real answer is 1,750 is how many chips are in an F-150. So Dan Wicks, you are the winner. You got it up there first. You got pretty dang close. Must have heard me talking or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. You got to tap on your phone or something there.
Yeah, but Dan Wicks, you nailed it, buddy. 1,750 is an F1. How many chips are in an F-150? And Dustin Freeney got up there at 1,250.
And so then they're looking at their, the logistics of, first of all, this product being short anyways, but then different chips do different things and the way they're differently designed. And some of them are readily available and some of them aren't. And so with that many chips that goes in these vehicles, depending upon what options you have, I mean, I can understand the logistical nightmare of why they're scrambling as much as they are, is trying to figure out, okay, this truck's equipped this way, so we're missing this, this, and this, but this truck's missing this way, or this configured this way, so we need this and this over here, and it's got to be, and then if we move this around or tweak this, then we can get this truck out, and so I could only imagine.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, James comes back and says the check engine light is on. Okay, James, there's the first thing we need to do is get a scanner, see what code's in. I guarantee we're going to have an engine misfire somewhere. Everything's fine in the city. And Dustin Frenia, that's more chips in the truck than a Frito-Lay chili bag. That's got to get up on the screen.
What did he say?
About the chips. He says more chips in a truck than in a Frito-Lay chili. That's pretty good. And Dustin, I'm going to tell you, it blew me away too when they told us at the meeting that there were 1,750 chips in an average F-150.
I'm going to take that and run with it, because there is nothing like being hungry, going and getting a bag of chips, and you open that thing up, and there's literally a quarter of the bag has chips in it. The rest of that's just air.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Air. Exactly right. So anyway, Mr. Furman, yes, you've got an engine misfire problem going on. We need to get you in here and get that thing looked at. The longer you let that thing drive like that and go like that, the more damage you're doing to your Volvo. So let's get that thing in here soon and get it fixed, because I'm telling you, you're hurting every minute you're driving that vehicle, you're doing some damage somewhere that's hurting something.
Yeah. And then, so basically, if it's misfiring, you're sending unburned raw fuel down into the exhaust. And then what happens is that exhaust will it gets warm enough that once it gets into the exhaust, it will reignite. And then these converters that are so prized, or everybody is wants to have, it basically burns inside of there, and what it'll do is it'll melt the converter internally. And so it can be very expensive to not only now fix the mist, but then you got to fix the converter too, and get that squared away. So the other thing I will tell you is that the check engine light being on, we need to get it addressed if that's the case. But then also, if the check engine light starts flashing, you need to stop driving the car, because that means that you're really are causing some pretty severe damage to that converter.
Yeah, exactly. So James, let's get that thing in here quickly. And even if it's when you get off today or whatever, if we can get it swung by here, just get a quick rundown and see what's going on. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Anyway, let's get the phones ringing, answer some questions. We can get you taken care of. And again, 1,750 computer chips in the average F-150. Pretty crazy from that part. More bags than a bag of chilies. Frito chili bag, yes. from that part. So anyway, everybody, thanks for playing the little trivia game. Dan Wicks is our winner at 1,700. He got pretty close from that part. Destin Freeney comes in a close second at 1,250, but from that part. So anyway,
figured it was going to take more guesses than that for sure.
I did too. Dan Wicks nailed it. Dan wants to know what's the range of the lighting on the Lightning.
So they have there's 2 batteries available in that.
Yep.
The extended range battery gives you a 300-mile range. The other one I think was 240.
I think it was 240.
Around 240. But then the other thing that blew me away, just the torque and horsepower in that thing, and then that with that being electric, the instant torque that you're gonna experience with that.
Yeah.
The other thing with that range, so Ford's really done a good job, I think, on these electric vehicles, because everybody seems to be concerned with range and, what range do I have? But then also their charging infrastructure that they're, putting into place to combat range on that. But then also the computer systems that they've put into these cars to be able to accurately calculate what that range is, so that information is correct. They were talking about all the different variables that they're looking at to come up with that calculation, and it's everywhere from load. If you're pulling something, if you have more weight in the vehicle, all the way down to literally wind. The amount of wind that's on the roads that you're going to be traveling down, and what the weather's like. But for them to go through and put that much thought into the calculation to make it very accurate for you is phenomenal for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And it's, you think about a lot of things, and everybody's worried about, the charge range and all that kind of things too. But you start thinking about how many times how long you're at a gas station, that sort of thing. You plug it in overnight. You're always leaving on a full tank. How many times you leave on a full tank in your car? Let's take that 300-mile range. A lot of people freak out about that, but what's the range of your gas tanks?
Yeah.
Okay. And that sort of thing too. But I know that the technology's coming. The fast chargers are coming. They're not out there yet that can charge these things faster and everything else like that too. Then if you can just upgrade a little bit and put a 220 outlet in your own home, which will help that side of the coin too from that part. So this is not a fad. This is not something that's here and gone. The manufacturers have been dealt this card of this CAFE rating, and it's got to be up there so high to meet these ratings for the government, the emissions coming out the tailpipe. And that's why this is happening. From that part. So now the manufacturers have went after this and have really went in and dove in at this really pretty hard. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you is I still remember back in the day, wrenching my dad in the 70s, and all of a sudden here come the disc brakes. Everybody freaked out. What are we going to do now? Oh my God, disc brakes. Freaked out.
Yeah.
Then in the mid-70s, here come an electronic ignition, get rid of the points. Oh my God, we freaked out. Everybody went nuts about electronic ignition. It's not going to work. It's not going to last. Well, guess where we're at today?
And then, that you can all through the automotive industry.
Then in the early 80s, here come the catalytic converters, and everybody's taking these test tubes and taking them off and doing it kind of like we're doing on these diesel trucks today. All these guys are taking these DEF systems off and everything else too. If you just knew how much damage that was doing to your truck by doing that, you'd stop doing it from that part. It's like I had a gentleman sit down at the desk with me the other day. He said, "Hey, what do you think about if I take my catalytic converters off my car, do this and that?" And I said, it's okay. You're going to make a lot more noise and everything, but you realize the life you're taking out of your engine. What do you mean? I said, when you put that tuning out, what do you think's doing to that motor? That motor wasn't designed to have all that extra horsepower, the pistons and the rods and the bearings and the rings and all that kind of stuff. But it's fine. It's your choice. You want to do that, but you're just taking a lot of life out of your motor. And he said, well, I didn't think about it. I said, then think about the extra stress you're putting on your transmission. Think the extra stress you're putting on your drivetrain and everything else in that car. Man, I wasn't thinking about that. I just thought about the noise. I said, well, if you just want some noise, take the mufflers off.
Yeah.
From that part. So,
and if the manufacturer could honestly get a couple more horsepower out of it, or better fuel economy, or whatever it is that you're looking for, without long-term negativity or degradation on the other powertrain components, they do it.
Right.
From that side for sure. So,
yeah, exactly. So anyway, these electric cars are here to come. They're going to be, like I said, by 2025, 50% of what Ford's going to build is going to be electric. For that part, the internal combustion engine is not going away. It can't go away for a long time. Everybody, I think GM put out there that 2030, that's all they were going to be building. Well, I think they've retracted their statement already.
Yeah.
From that part, there's just no way that we can convert all these cars that quick, that fast,
yeah.
and have a good infrastructure under our belt from that part too. So,
but the other side of that too, it is something that's happening. It's going to be there. And the analogy that they gave down there was Blockbuster. You know, the
let's go through that story a little bit.
Between Blockbuster and Netflix, you know, and what I didn't know, and I have not seen I was going to make it a point to go out there and watch the series that they have, ironically enough, on Netflix about Blockbuster, but that, you know, Netflix tried selling to Blockbuster on multiple occasions very early on in its infancy, and you know, they got
laughed at.
Yeah, they got laughed at from that side. But you know, at one point there was 9,000 rooftops for Blockbuster,
something like that,
across the U.S. and
now there's one.
Yeah, and it's an independently owned Blockbuster from that side, and so Netflix, you know, was a startup early on and adapted and changed, you know, over time, and Blockbuster chose not to, and so that is exactly where we're going. We are going to electrification, and there is a use for it. You know, there is it will be a good thing. For sure.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, it is going to be fun. It's going to be different, you know, and everybody talks about, you know, what's this going to do to our service department stuff. I mean, basically all we're losing is the oil change interval, but you know, you're still going to have to come in and get your tires rotated. You're still going to have brakes put on these cars. There's actually still a cooling system, a cool of batteries. That's still going to have to be maintained from that part. So there's still a lot of things going on. And then you think about it, really, there's a lot of, still electronics in these cars. The dash in that Explorer blew me away. I mean, that dash was very cool, what they're going to have there on the Explorer. But there's still all kinds of things to be said there from that part. And all we're really doing is we're just taking the oil change interval out of the situation. We're taking rid of an internal combustion engine. We're getting rid of a transmission because you don't need that either.
The electric motors, yeah. So, and what I will say with this too is that, you know, everybody right now, it doesn't matter whether it's Chrysler, you know, Chevrolet or Toyota or Ford or anybody, everybody really does have a pretty durable powertrain, and there's not a whole lot of repairs that we get into that are powertrain related. You know, the maintenance intervals on the powertrain is definitely more prevalent than the actual repairs. But by capita of vehicles, it's the powertrains aren't what fails; it's all the other stuff from that side of things. So,
yep, that's exactly right. So, but anyway, it's going to be fun, exciting. The E-Transit, which is 100% electric, it's going to be here very soon. The Lightning is going to be here this spring from that part, and then the 2023 will be the 100% electric Explorer. So a lot of great things coming from Ford. Just excited to be involved in those products and everything else too from that standpoint to help with that. So, all right, 316-462-3673. Let's get the phones ringing. Answer any of your questions or anything you got going on and talk about anything in the new automobile world from that standpoint. Love to take your questions and give you away this great price package valued at over $130. So anyway, so you got some more watchers on here, Josh. Just kind of recap last night. We had a great event out at the Kansas International Dragway with the Wichita Police Department. Was Beat the Heat, and we had some races out there where guys registered up and drew, and had some great time with the police officers out there with Paul Cruz and Pinkston and all those guys, Metcalf and all those guys were out there having a good time, and had 3 different guys race. It was fun.
We were, you know, the police walked away unvictorious from that side of things, but I think everybody had a great time for sure. And you know, the second 2 races were very close, and you know, in fact, the first one or the second one, the officer beat him off the line, but then the car ended up
catching him at the
end and getting the win for sure. So,
well, and really the last race, the police officer would have won, but I was coaching him up he was driving the EcoBoost Explorer, and I was coaching him up on how to get the turbos wound up and before he took off. And I had him up there pretty good, but he just let off the brake a little bit too quick and edged into the light too hard and red lit. But the actual times where he was actually faster than the guy before, but it doesn't matter. You red lit, you're out.
Yeah,
from that part. So, but it was a good time, good community involvement. Had a lot of people out there, which is great to see. The stands were packed. It took a little bit to get people in.
Yeah, had the 2 Mustangs out there as well. So I had a couple boys that were super excited about their event or what they got to experience for sure.
So anyway, we had our yellow car and the blue car out there, the 11 and the 21. Josh got in one, I got one, and each one of his boys got in there. We took off and had a little race down the track, and
you got me. Yeah, you got me. I fell asleep at the light, so
that's all right. These are still good time. The boys had a good time.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
Yep, for sure.
That part, but yeah, I will tell you that Connor he probably need to get his neck massaged, Josh. All he's done is turn around, look to the back,
I wanted to make sure I was behind him. I can assure you that. Yeah.
Where he was at in there too. So anyway, and got to take my GT 500 down the track for the first time too. And I'm telling you, I'm crying right now because that car looks terrible, and I can't get it in until Monday to get it cleaned up and stuff too. But I had a good time with that car out there, and it's went to North Carolina. Jake and I did, and I got to drive some 500s down the North Carolina drag strip and also the road course out there. But those weren't the carbon fiber cars, and I'm telling you, the carbon fiber car is night and day difference with the wheels on that thing and the spoiler on that thing stuff too. But ended up the fastest I went was 11.5 at about 126. So not bad for a bone stock car right out of the factory and stuff too. I think I could get a pair of slicks on it. And I will tell you, that's the other thing I figured out too, was Jesse moved me over to that left lane so he could take some better pictures of the car and stuff. But that left lane wasn't as good as the right lane.
Really?
Right off, about 10 feet off the deal, each one of those two cars, even my GT500 and the yellow car, shook really bad right there.
Huh.
So there was a little spot right there that just didn't have enough traction or whatever. And so I wish I'd have moved over to that right lane again and tried it again and see what I could have done after I figured out how to run all my electronics.
Yeah.
The second time out, I forgot to turn the traction control back on.
That's
that thing just lit them up hard for that part. I need a set of slicks in it. I'm gonna have to build me a tire because, of course, I'm probably not going to get that done very quickly for some tire shortage are on either. But that car needs some more tire underneath it because it's got so much power and so much torque there. If you don't have that traction control on, it's just going to. And it did. It just lit them up. When it did that, I lost a whole second. It did a 12.5.
Oh, really?
12.5 on that time too. So, but anyway, so Josh, we're kind of running out of time. It's almost time to run another hour out of this clock. But yeah, good time out of Kansas International Dragway. Night 2 out there tonight too. Some dirt track racing also.
You're going to be at where are you headed this evening?
I'm headed to Salina to run the NCRA division.
Okay.
81 Speedway's running tonight too. All their races out there, so lots of fun and exciting stuff going on. I'll head back out to Kansas International Dragway. Nick and the gang will be out there again for night 2, and I bet Nick's probably sleeping. I can say Nick could call in and talk to us about what's going on in his show.
Yeah, man, I tell you, we started, or we got out of there. It was almost maybe midnight when we took out of there, and they were really they were still going. There was a lot of cars. There were still people even coming into the event from that side of things. And then I know I did hear over the intercom that they were getting ready to take the prep off the track so they could start their no prep event. I guess I'm not sure.
Exactly I think. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. For sure.
I need to get more up to speed on the drag race and stuff, but we should have had Nick calling the show, but I'm sure they were up late not because there was a ton of not only spectators, there were a ton of race cars out there too. So
tell you what, some of those rigs that were pulling in there, man, I thought he was going to clip the front of the Mustang pulling around.
I seen that thing roll in and start turning to the left, and I went hauling ass over there too. I thought, oh boy, how are we going to take off but he made it in there okay.
Yeah,
but there's going to be some fun times out there at the
International Dragway out there.
Spit it out, yeah. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. So get out to Kansas International Dragway, go to Salina NCRA show, or go out to 81 Speedway. Lots of racing and everything else there going from that part. So, and James Furman, I saw the other day that Freightliner unveiled their fully electric truck, the Acacia. I can't say it. Yeah, everything's going electric, guys. I'm telling you, a lot of things are coming. That's the way of the future. It's the way it's going. But again, think about the size of electric motors on a semi.
Yeah, and I mean that'd have to be huge. Of course, they got a lot more surface area to be putting batteries on and everything else. Think about taking an engine out of one of those. Mm-hmm.
How much battery they could put in that thing?
Yeah, and they wouldn't necessarily need the frunk.
Probably wouldn't, would they? Need the front like that. So anyway, a lot of exciting stuff's coming from Ford. Excited for all that new stuff. Stay tuned to our Facebook page. We should have a couple more Broncos hitting here very shortly. So come in and check those out. And the ones that are coming are going to be the ones that we can actually drive. They're out here for what we call our courtesy transportation program. We can actually put them out. You can go out and drive it for a few minutes or whatever, drive them around and really get to and see what Josh and I got to do down in Austin and actually drive these Broncos and how cool they were and everything else too. Lots of great fun and everything else in that part too. So anyway, what else am I missing, Josh? We had a great event last Saturday with the Beats Department and converters.
Yep.
So if you want to get your converters etched and try to protect your converters, call us up. We got a few kits left for that. Last Friday, we were over at Hutchinson at the Prairie Dunes and gave away a hospice. Congratulations to everybody that had the great prizes and everything else out there too. But the biggest thing is our winner, Brad Pryor, won our Escape. So that was very cool and fun. We were on the green out there, or the tee box, and I seen the rain coming. So we had to get off the tee box, and luckily we got it off just in time for the rain hit.
Yeah, it poured.
Yeah, from that part too. So
Gave away that car, and again, there was 10 keys given away from there, and then 10,
Mr. Shivers, you're something else. You're really, 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 really cute. I wish I could put this on the screen for you, Jared. I just really do. You know what it is? It's jealousy.
You think?
Oh, it's like, yes, yeah, it is. He can't handle it.
How about time management?
Yeah, time management is right. Let's talk about something to that.
How many pictures do you think he had to look through to get that
I
one?
guarantee he made it.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, he made it.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway, so just those you tuning in, Jared Shivers, who used to work with Josh and I when we were in Hutch, he happens to still love that bow tie. Why, I don't know, but he does. And he's just he sent us a picture in here that I'm sure he had to make up from that part. But yeah, he's just jealous of the blue oval right now is what that is. Last time I checked, 45 years coming up, best-selling truck, best-selling vehicle too. I don't know who you're talking about there, Mr. Shivers. But you are cute on the picture. I wish I could put it up on the screen for everybody to see what he sent us, but I don't know how I'm not that tech savvy to get that up on the screen.
To get it up there. There you go.
So,
but yeah, we gave that car away over at hospice, and again, what was it? I think he was the 8th guy that got in there and started it. So again, with the keys, it just makes you nervous when you get that far into the deal. And
yeah, exactly. So, hey, anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. It's a beautiful day out there. Go out and enjoy yourself. Have some fun. And everybody have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you next Saturday.